All right, 7 rounds to 5. Okay, look, it's hard to pick a winner for the rematch, but I wanted to get on here today and talk about it for a little bit. I went back, watched it without the sound, and I do that. I do that all the time, whenever we have a highly contested fight, a lot of controversy, whatever. I'll go back, like, for example, Andre Ward Kovalev. Went back, watched it multiple times, both of them actually. So, did the same thing here. And when I did that, and I mentioned this a few months ago, I had it 8 rounds Gennady Golovkin to 8, 9, 10, 11 to 4 rounds Canelo. Okay, and that's not a biased, not a biased score. Like that's truthfully what I had it at. Now let me get you guys a little something to look at here. Hang on, let me go back. But look, like I said today, I just want to kind of talk about the rematch overall and give you my thoughts and opinions on it. So look, Canelo, 27 years old, okay, the younger boxer, closer to his prime. Now, it's very important, okay, or actually in his prime, okay, and I think he should have done a lot more against the older, fading, yes, I said it, the older, fading Gennady Golovkin, and we look, Gennady Golovkin, he's not the same guy that beat Martin Ray or Gabriel Rosado, definitely David Lemieux, but I'll tell you in a little bit what I think when Golovkin was at his prime. But, I really feel like Canelo, he should have done a lot more in that original fight. But I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself. But I think each guy learned a lot in the original fight, I think Canelo probably learned a little bit more than Golovkin. And, like I said in my previous video, they both need to make adjustments. I think Golovkin can make the easier adjustments going to the body, coming out aggressive in round 1. Okay, don't wait till round 3, round 4, come out just immediately aggressive. Okay, and I think that will win him the fight. Because he just kind of, I don't know, he looked a little cold, like he had a little bit of stage fright. So come out hard, come out strong, that kind of thing. And another thing, remember, okay, this is Canelo's natural weight. Okay, he said he felt great against this guy right here, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Remember, they had the fight 164.5, and Canelo, he's like, yeah, I feel great. I'm in camp. I'm not in camp to burn weight, to cut weight. I can focus on training and technique and a game plan, that kind of thing. And, and look how he looked against Chavez. Now, of course, we know Chavez was a zombie, but still, that's why, again, I believe in the original fight with Gennady Golovkin, he should have looked a lot better, because that's his natural weight. Okay, and we all know Canelo, he rehydrates to damn near a light heavyweight. I'd say at least 170 pounds. Okay, so, and just moving on, I'm hearing a lot of channels talk about a trilogy. Well, look, you guys heard it first right here. It came from Oscar's mouth, okay, to my ears live in person. Now, I'll show you the interview in just a minute. Give me a minute here. I'll show you the interview when I interviewed Oscar De La Hoya, and they're talking about a trilogy. So I think that's exactly what we're going to get. And again, we'll get into that a little further here in a minute. I see it. I'll tell you now. I see it happening just like this. Okay, Golovkin wins the rematch. Canelo wins the trilogy. Okay, but somewhere in between, Golovkin beats Billy Joe Saunders and becomes undisputed. Canelo beats Golovkin in the third match, and then the torch is basically passed to Canelo. I think I do believe Gennady Golovkin, he's going to win the rematch. But in that trilogy, Canelo wins and they pass the torch. But before the trilogy, I think that which ultimately would leave Canelo the undisputed middleweight champion, because he'll beat Gennady Golovkin in the third fight, to gain all those titles. I mean, could you imagine? That would be his third fight or whatever at middleweight, and he is the undisputed champion. So, that's how I see it going down. I've got it right so far. We'll see. But look, now here's another thing that's really interesting. Okay, Gennady Golovkin never relied on judges. Okay, think about it. Triple G has never stood in front of 3 judges awaiting his fate. Okay, isn't that crazy to think about, because he basically was knocking everybody out. I was watching a video earlier and they brought that up, and, we all know that, of course, but, it's got to be weird and awkward for Golovkin, to stand there and you got Michael Buffer reading off, the judge's cards. Like, it's weird to think about, because he's constantly knocking guys out. But Golovkin, I think he'll be 35, 36, and as far as peaking, I think he peaked in 2012, 13, maybe 14. I would say kind of hit the ceiling around that David Lemieux fight. Okay. And I've brought this up in multiple videos. I think, in that David Lemieux fight, that's when he peaked. Now the question is he going to plateau? Did he hit the ceiling, and will he start to go down a little bit? Or is he just going to kind of remain floating at that level and, gain knowledge, right? Because at that point, you can't really, as far as like physical attributes go, you can't really, gain much, right? But I think he will. I think he's going to become a much more intelligent boxer, is what I believe. And a part of that, okay, a part of being, hang on, let me show you this interview real quick. A part of being a much more intelligent boxer, I think he knows he's got to come out aggressive, okay? And I'm going to show you this interview right here. Let me flip it over for you. Is when Oscar De La Hoya was talking about a rematch, okay? Hang on, I got to skip the ad real quick. I'm on my own YouTube channel, by the way. Like, I'm on Counterpunch Boxing Talk, playing videos while I talk to you. But, but look, furthermore, people keep complaining about, where the fight is. I've even complained about it, talking about it's going to be in Las Vegas, that kind of thing, and I don't want it to be there because the corrupt judges. Well, I kind of do. I kind of changed my mind. I want it to be in Vegas because I think that'll put a lot of pressure on Golovkin to not rely on the judges, right? It could be a blessing in disguise. Think about it. Really think about it for a minute. I think Golovkin will go in there a little more, aware of the judges and how he looks, because like I said, Golovkin, he's never had to worry about, oh, I wonder what I look like in that round. I wonder what I look like in that round. I think I won the last minute. Okay, I think I kind of got the nod from the judges in round 3 and 4 and 5. He's never had to worry about that like, most boxers do. And you can hear their coaches or their trainers rather in the corner, like, look, you're up around, or it's even right now. Like, they've never had to worry about that because Golovkin knows he's going to come out and knock the dude out. So again, I think you'll see a more mindful Gennady Golovkin in the rematch because it very well could go to the judges, and I think it will. And my early prediction, I've got a 12-round decision for Gennady Golovkin, split majority, I don't know, just a decision for Gennady. I don't think it'll be unanimous. I mean, there's no way it'll be unanimous, but unless Canelo just completely just, blows it. But, I think we'll basically just get a split decision, I believe. But we'll see. But that's kind of my early prediction, as far as what I think will happen. But I do want to see the training camp. I want to see how each guy looks, that kind of thing. I want to see their attitude. Right now you have Abel Sanchez, he's aware, which I like. He is aware of the mistakes they made in the original fight, and I like that. Because a lot of times, these coaches, like, there's things clear as day, and they don't even talk about it. But he said, yeah, we need to be more aggressive. We need to, put the pressure on from round 1. We need to fight like it's going to the judges, although they're labeling it no judges needed. HBO put out this thing, or who was it, HBO, whoever, Golden Boy, no judges needed. Both Canelo and Golovkin are talking about, someone's getting knocked out, we don't need judges. And, and I might change my prediction to a late round stoppage, for Gennady Golovkin. But like I said, in the trilogy, I can tell you right now, it's going to Canelo, and I believe that's when, like, the torch will be passed. So that's really what I think. Now, another thing I want to see, and I got a lot of heat for this, and in the original fight, I talked about how Golovkin, he looked a little bit soft in that midsection. So I want to see, I just want to see a better, conditioned Golovkin, a more well-conditioned Gennady Golovkin, because, I mean, I even did, like, side-by-side pictures, showing you guys, like, even in the David Lemieux fight, I mean, he had like this chiseled, body, like, whatever. But then, you fast forward to, especially when he was doing those commercials, he looked like kind of like the frumpy dad body, I mean, he did, he looked pretty good on fight night, but, but then, people will say, oh, well, that's because he's getting older. But those same people will say, but, he's not fading. You know, it's like, well, wait a minute. Whoa. You know, it just doesn't make any kind of sense to me. So, you know, I'm really curious to see what Golovkin looks like in the photo shoots, the commercials, because you know they're gonna. I mean, the sponsorship will be all over the rematch. So, but anyway, guys, I'm probably gonna leave it at that. You know, I just want to get on here and talk about it for a minute. And, you know, and I do want to say, you know, I kind of give Canelo a hard time. I give him a ton of respect, you know, for taking the rematch. Now, although I was reading an article earlier that apparently it's really not 100% official right now. They just say Canelo is on board. You know, it's kind of like a play on words, like wordplay. Like, you know, it's not official, but he's on board. So, you know, I want to see a signed contract on Twitter, that kind of thing, because right now, as far as I know, unless something's changed, you know, there's nothing in black and white. So, you know, I mean, could you imagine what if it fell apart? You know, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm 99% sure we'll get it. Hopefully there's no injuries, nothing like that, and everything's good. So anyway, guys, leave your comment below, and I gratefully appreciate all of you. I really do. You know, you guys have just been awesome and, you know, supporting the channel. So thank you very much.